Afternoon, everyone. Our group members Aruna, Anvisa, Samdup, and Miss Susan are here to present about the social and family inequality that women in South Asia face that holds them back. Gender inequality refers to unequal treatment faced by individuals based on their gender. It is Although both men and women can be affected by gender inequality, women, however, have been a bigger victim of gender inequality. The situation of South Asian women are really bad. Gender inequality has become a big barrier for proper human development in South Asian countries. The disadvantages facing women and girls are the major source of gender inequality. All too often, women and girls in South Asia are discriminated against in health, education, political representation, and labor market, which have negative impact on their development of capabilities and proper rights. Women in South Asia face great deal of inequality, which affects their sex ratio, their health over their lifetime, their educational attainment and other economic conditions. Such unequal treatment and men enjoying their privilege over women while women oppressed can be seen as major reason why South Asia is still not developing. Women make up more than half of the total South Asia's population. They are not seen able to be developing as European nations. For our aim of this poster presentation is to find out the reason why the women in South Asia is discriminated and the injustice and discrimination that they are facing by their own family and society. For our methodology, we have used secondary sources, mainly online journals, articles, various authors' views, and books from UW Library. And for literature review, Aruna will be speaking.
Thank you, Susan. The first literature theory we are going to talk about is a functionalist perspective. This theory sees society as a complex system whose parts exist and work together to promote solidarity and stability. This theory looks society through a macro level orientation. According to this theory, gender inequality exists in society, so there will be an efficient division of labor. This theory further says that a particular segment of population is responsible for certain act of labor, and the other segment is responsible for other labor acts. A common analogy popularized by Herbert Spence presents that a society as organs that work together toward the proper functioning of the body as a whole. This theory was robustly articulated in the 1940s and in the 50s, which was further largely developed by Talcott Parsons' model of a nuclear family. This theory says that men work and women are supposed to take care of the family, the child, and their household. This theory has been highly criticized because it is rectifying rather than reflecting gender roles. The second theory is the conflict theory. This theory says that social problems in society exist when dominant group mistreat the subordinate ones, dominant being the men and subordinate being the females, and thus advocates a balance of power between the two genders. The interactionism theory studies that individuals act within society and believe that meaning is produced through interactions. According to this theory, gender stratification exists because people act towards each other on the basis of the meanings they have for each other. That is, a society sees and wants men to act as masculine and female to act as feminine. And due to this, this theory says that gender is something we do or perform and not something we are. A study done in 1971 by Bravesman and Bravesman sought to reveal that characteristics that mental health workers are attributed to males and females. Everyone said that females, they use females to explain them with the help of adjectives like gentle, emotional, unambitious, and dependent, while men were defined with adjectives like blunt, logical, rough, etc. The next theory, the feminism theory, which is highly popular now, believes in the social, political, economical equality of both the sexes. It says that women and men are equal and they should be given equal opportunities. Thank you. And for our findings, I'd like to call Sambu.
Thank you, Arna. Gender inequality refers to unequal treatment or perception of individuals based on their gender. When we talk about gender inequality, the first thing that comes in our mind is women. Men are usually the dominant force in the society. From birth, girls and boys, men and women, they are expected by the society to play certain roles and behave in certain ways based on religion, beliefs, and traditions. These beliefs includes girls do not need high education; they will end up being housewives after all. Beliefs like this, and after our research, we found a few causes of gender inequality. They include poverty, illiteracy, beliefs, traditions, religion, lack of employment opportunities. Sorry. So poverty, because because people are poor, they cannot afford, and they are not able to provide proper attention towards women empowerment. In fact, they don't even have time to think about issues like this. They're busy working and earning their lives. They are deprived of basic goods, so they have no time for equality issues. I picked up a few stats from Asian Development Banks. It shows the percentage of population that lives below the poverty line in South Asia. It goes like Bangladesh 31.5%, Bhutan 12%, India 21.9%, Maldives 15%, Sri Lanka 6.7%, and finally Nepal with 25.2%. It shows that people are really poor and they are not able to concentrate on the issues regarding gender inequality. The next cause is illiteracy. Young men are more literate than young women in South Asia. So I've compared men and women from the age group 16 to 26 that are able to read and write. Afghanistan has 51% young men compared to 18% women who can read and write. Pakistan with 76% compared to 18%, Nepal with 81% compared to 60%, India with 84% compared to 68%, Sri Lanka with 95% to 96%, and Maldives with 98 to 98%. This shows that Sri Lanka and Maldives, the young population there is equally literate, but however, most of the countries are backing in the women's literacy part. Especially in Afghanistan, the literacy rate for females over the age of 15 is 12.6% compared to 43.1% for males, and only 40% of females attend primary schools and 6% attend secondary schools. Currently, there are over 70 private universities in Afghanistan with over 200,000 students studying, but only 18% of them are women, with 82% of men. Globally, 62 million girls do not get primary or secondary education. The next issue is beliefs, traditions, and religion. So South Asian countries are usually patriarchal societies where power is held by and is favored towards men through tradition. Even though the beliefs and traditions, even in Quran chapter 4 verse 125, it states that men and women are equal. It adds further that whoso does good work, male or female, she is a believer, such shall enter heaven. That is also referred to as Jannah. It shows that even religion does not support gender inequality, but since men act as the dominant power throughout history, they have been able to change the way the society thinks. Since boys are given most preference, women are discriminated even before birth. Facts show that between 1980 to 2010, it is estimated that 12 million female fetuses were aborted because of their sex. So we can see that there's inequality even before they are born. Now I would like to call on Visha to add further.
I'm going to talk about the findings of our topic. And men have always been given partiality over women since decades. And because of that, we have been living in this highly male-dominated society. Gender inequality is something that has been evident since birth, from parents wanting a male child over a female child. And especially in South Asia, it has become a major trend. Gender inequality leads to violence towards women, and gender inequality in South Asia has led to femicide. Millions of girls and women are murdered, and these rates are increasing every year. And in Afghanistan, femicide rate has gone up to 49% in 2016. And in India, over 500,000 young girls are a victim of infanticide and prenatal sex termination. Child marriage is a major issue in gender inequality. Girls are married off at a very young age, and they are at a risk for early pregnancy and reproductive health issues. In South Asia, more than 30% of girls aged 15 to 19 are married, and in Nepal, almost 40% of girls are married by the age of 16. Dowry, that when a bride cannot meet the financial requirements of the groom, she becomes a subject of harassment, torture, and death by the groom's family. In Pakistan, there are over 2,000 dowry-related deaths every year, and in Bangladesh, 4,000 women have been a victim of dowry-related violence in 2013. Honor killings. Honor killings is when women are murdered because they are a victim of rape, and that is said to bring shame to their family. And in South Asia has the highest rate of honor killings. In Pakistan, nearly 5,000 women every year die because of honor killings, and 20% of women in Myanmar are a victim of honor killings. And for the conclusion, societal and family traditions are the main are usually impacts gender inequality. Poverty leads to lack of education in young girls, and low level of education in women. Low level of education in women is one of the most major issue of gender inequality. Despite of various changes taking place in the world, women are still subject to countless violence, and
young infants are still considered young girl infants are still considered a liability. Gender inequality can be put to an end if parents motivate their children, female children, to pursue higher education, and if women are given occupational trainings related higher fields. Especially in South Asia, if social norms and gender roles in families are taken into consideration, then women and men both will be able to enjoy the same resources as well as opportunities. Thank you.